Welcome back, YouTube family. Dillon Gabriel is still garbage. So yeah, that's exactly what we observed. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit that notification bell. I ain't been on YouTube in 6 days. I'm going to talk about Colorado and Deion Sanders and Juju Lewis. But right now, we have to do what we do best here. Expose the leprechauns. Welcome to the Lollygop Guild song. That's right. We're in Munchkin lands, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about the Cleveland Browns today. The fiasco, the letdowns. Let's talk about it. So Cleveland Browns, because this game against the New York Jets was nothing short of embarrassing. I'm talking about JV Pop Warner football level embarrassing. You've got Dillon Gabriel as your starting quarterback, and I'm going to be honest, this experiment is officially over with. Let's not even sugarcoat it. He's not a real NFL starter. He's a practice squad quarterback pretending to lead a professional team. And Coach Kevin Stefanski, he keeps forcing it down our throats. No pause. Yes, Diddy. You heard me. Yes, Diddy. That's who Coach Kevin Stefanski is. Because even if Dillon throws one or two touchdowns in a game, that means absolutely nothing when the rest of his poor performance looks this bad. It's abysmal. We've seen enough. We know who he is. He's not that guy. This loss today is just sheer embarrassing, guys. It should have never went down like this. Like, you had a 10-point lead to now you're losing to 10 points. I mean, look, I can get on Dillon Gabriel all day, But when are we going to expose Coach Kevin Stefanski as not a real quarterback? Can we be honest? Because this thing right here tells you he's not that guy. At the end of the day, if the Browns organization was serious about winning, Shedeur Sanders would have had his chance by now. No chance at all guaranteed to Shedeur, and nothing should be guaranteed, but damn, just put him in the game. Even Mo 3 is out here begging for Shedeur to come in the game. Too many people have ripped the arms down of Shedeur Sanders. Can I show you guys something to prove my point about Dillon Gabriel? He waved off Shedeur when Shedeur was trying to say it's going to be all right, Dillon. Instead of Dillon embracing his teammates, you can tell his hatred. Pay attention to this. Look at that. Told you, he waved off Shedeur's hands. Let's look at it. Look at it. 85 hit Nagoku, the tight end, hit Shedeur hands instead. He tried to hit it to Dillon Gabriel. I'm not trying to make much deep into that because there's too much statistical breakdowns. Dillon Gabriel should, in those short games that he played, no pun intended to his height, because we know he is short in every single way. You know how Les Barbecue say Texas in every single way? Well, shorty doo-wop for Dillon Gabriel in every single way. Look at the man's performance, y'all. Come on, man. And I'm going to go more into this game, but I just want to substantiate it with facts and receipts. Look at the QBR ratings. This is an NFL so-called supposed quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about the preseason highlights, because they or the earlier games that they put him in at the last minute, which are called inflated stats. This guy is the interception king. Look, the only reason Dillon isn't leading the interceptions in the NFL right now is because guys can't catch his interception passes for whatever reason. You can literally see it right here. You're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. New York Jets interceptions are 0, fewest in the NFL. There has been 183 interceptions in the NFL by 131 different players. So, of course, they weren't going to catch anything. I mean, they barely can catch anything the guy is throwing. Let's break more things down during this game. Let's be real. This Browns offense made the Jets, yes, the Jets, who are 1-7, look like the early 2000s Atlanta Falcons led by Michael Vick. That's how atrocious and horrible and bad this game was. How are you, a professional NFL team, struggling to move the ball against a Pop Warner JV defense? Let's just be honest. How are you letting Aaron Glenn outcoach Kevin Stefanski in every possible way? And Coach Kevin Stefanski is in his 5th year, and he supposedly has 2, not 1, but 2 NFL Coaches of the Year, which was privileged. How does Aaron Glenn, a first-time head coach, outplays you and outmaneuvers you with that horrible, atrocious New York Jets team that he has? Because let's not sugarcoat it, the Cleveland Browns have a by far better roster than the New York Jets 10 times over. They only have one missing ingredient, Shedeur Sanders. That's who they're missing, because Dillon Gabriel looked lost as usual. This is typical routine. He threw multiple bad passes. He got bailed out by pass interference calls, and his only semi-decent throw came off a lucky bounce, and no one is going to talk about it. That touchdown pass, everyone's hyping up. Horrible throw. No excuse. Let's just go to mid-subpar players. Let me show you his passes, how horrible it was. Because you're going to say Jerry Jeudy be dropping catches. He does drop catches. I'm not going to lie. But look at this. Do you blame Jerry Jeudy? Look at this throw, guys. What are we doing here? That's an NFL quarterback throwing the ball like that? He can't even see over his linemen. Come on, man. The defenders can't catch Dillon Gabriel's interceptions because they're brick hands. Could you imagine if these defenders can catch a ball? Dillon Gabriel would have like 20-something interceptions right now. He barely can throw over his own. Forget about defensive linemen he can't throw over. He barely can throw over his own offensive linemen. Look at this garbage. What are we watching here, guys? Look. That wasn't even a missed throw. That was not. Let's go more further deeper because it seems there are going to be more excuses for this guy. You know, Kevin Stefanski and his few players all share the same agents. We don't want to talk about that. You know, that's what actually makes it worse. Dillon Gabriel and several of his college coaches, several of his NFL coaches, including Kevin Stefanski, they all share the same agent. How on God's earth is that not a conflict of interest? How? No other professions would have it like that. I know there's probably more people who probably does the same thing, but let's just be honest. It's like one big family, a favor system for Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders is the one paying for it. He's literally paying for it to just stare at Shedeur going out there trying to be a real football player. You know what I mean? You're looking at Shedeur Sanders trying to remember he's a football player, but you can't. You can't remember Shedeur is going to do good because he has to be surrounded around scrubs like this. Now, let's go more favorable towards my commentary because I think I'm being more too deep. But how could you not when you're watching Shedeur, a serviceable quarterback who can, I'm not saying he's going to be a Pro Bowler in year one, but I am saying he can goddamn do better than what Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel has been providing for the dysfunctional Cleveland Browns. Let's just be honest, and here's where it gets sick. The announcers and the media kept Dillon glaze mode all around out. They kept calling Dillon this athletic freak of nature. He's elusive. He's a great runner. I seen him run a 3-yard run for his life, and they're calling him the next Michael Vick. Man, if you guys think I'm doing the most, then you did not watch the game. And don't ask me, bro, your jersey is backwards. Yes, it's backwards. We don't support the Cleveland Browns. We support Shedeur Sanders because I see a lot of you Cleveland Browns supporters. You want me to be grateful of the Cleveland Browns? Man, the hell with your weak franchise. I only come here just like 80% of the people watching your games only came to support Shedeur Sanders. Please don't get don't get beside yourself as if you're this glorious New England Patriots we all love. Get the hell out of here. So Dillon is Tom Brady now? But when Dillon has never been a dual threat quarterback, but the announcers are calling him, he's known to be elusive. When? At UCF? In high school in Hawaii? At Oklahoma? At Oregon? When was this scrub quarterback a dual threat quarterback? But when you look at him, you get praise for mediocrity. That's what you get praise for, a below average quarterback that has been redundant in failure, and that's what you guys are praising. Meanwhile, if Shedeur Sanders even made one of those same mistakes, the entire media would crucify Shedeur Sanders. You know it, as they've been doing right now. The double standard is real, and it's right there for everyone to see it. Listen to me, guys. Let's talk about this football talk again. Dillon Gabriel got sacked multiple times early, putting his team in a terrible field position. The Browns couldn't even score until a late field goal before halftime. That's how bad it got. Let's just talk more into it, but I want to get more into my stats. I know people don't like me, but majority does. Now, Dillon missing these throws was a typical situation because look at the stats here. Kevin Stefanski should be fired immediately. Look at the points. 30th in the league. The passing yards, 29th in the league, which is no surprise because they throw a Pat Schumer bubble screen style offense. Rushing yards, they got the top 10 running back in Judkins, but they averaged 28th in the league in rushing yards. That's all because the plays are predicated and stitch around Dillon Gabriel, meaning Kevin Stefanski is in love with his boyfriend, who he actually lives in the same neighborhood with, and 31st in total yards. 30th on third down, you should pay attention to. Get rid of this experiment. What are we doing here, bro? At the end of the day, this has been an atrocious level of play. I think Sean King said it best when he referenced this right here.
Maybe.
By far better than Dillon Gabriel, and they keep trying to glaze Dillon. You seen those Cleveland analysts, so-called analysts, who are just warriors of the complexion of protection. Man, we got to go back to Mo 3 singing again for Shedeur. We need to save Shedeur. Let my people go. That part, man, we need it. What is this?
See, I was in the selling dope and shooting guns. You fucking hoes and power.
What would Jesus think? Shedeur is all right. Sometimes we have to struggle. And let's just be honest. This isn't about one bad game. This is a pattern. Dillon can't throw accurately beyond 6 yards, and it's baffling to be real. I've seen Pop Warner quarterbacks who can do it. He's throwing hospital balls that put wide receivers at risk. And at this point, keeping Shedeur Sanders on the bench is not just bad coaching, it's a dereliction of duty. It's dangerous for the entire multi-billion-dollar team. You've got a quarterback who's not producing, an offensive line losing confidence, and a locker room clearly divided. Go ask that crybaby Myles Garrett, who all of you guys over-exaggerate on. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer, but he cannot produce wins. Get mad at me all you want. You can have a Myles Garrett. I'm not paying all that money for a guy who can't cause the game to go a certain way. It is what it is. You're going to say he's not a quarterback. Cool. But then don't call him a generational blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. Here's my thing. At the end of the day, we've seen this during preseason. Let's look at it again. What point of preseason did you not know Shedeur was by far better than Dillon Gabriel? Look at this. I mean, this was months ago. He hasn't adapted. He hasn't progressed. He regressed. Look at this leprechaun. What about this told you he was better than Shedeur? I'm waiting for it, guys. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what coach decides to make this guy your number one quarterback in the face of your NFL franchise? Look at this. What changed? All you aficionados of football, what exactly changed that told you Dillon was the go-to guy? And all the racial warriors were defending this guy. And we know why. We absolutely know why they were defending Dillon Gabriel. We're not going to sugarcoat it, and it's for the complexion of protection. Let's just be real. So let's go more things on this situation. Here's my thing, y'all. Kevin Stefanski knows exactly what he's doing. He's holding on to Dillon Gabriel out of ego and pride and the NFL cartel's agenda against Shedeur Sanders. Not football sense is being used in this. If this coach truly cared about winning, winning football, he'd give Shedeur Sanders a real opportunity and proper reps to play, to prove himself, and to save this team from sinking. But instead, We're watching the same predictable story, favoritism, excuses, and bias in full display. Dillon Gabriel isn't just bad, he's awful. He's awful. And Shedeur, he's sitting there ready, waiting, and watching his career get sabotaged by decisions that has nothing to do with talent or leadership. And at this point, if Kevin Stefanski doesn't make the switch soon, which he should have been already, not only should he lose his job, the Browns organization should be embarrassed and put a class action lawsuit against everybody that got involved in this Shedeur Sanders agenda of sabotage. Fans deserve better, players deserve better, and Shedeur Sanders deserve a fair shot to lead this team. He doesn't need a guaranteed position. I don't think no players need a guaranteed position, but you gave Dillon Gabriel a guaranteed position. But Shedeur did need a fair chance, one he never got. And Shedeur Sanders deserves to lead this team because, let's be honest, we've seen what Dillon Gabriel brings, and that's not winning football. That's scrub football. I'm done. I'm out of here, y'all.